غرباء 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 غرباء.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Yesterday we completed the wajibat al-salah. Those are the acts. If they are not carried out, then the person's salah becomes his salah is required that the person makes a sajda to sahu, where the person forgets to do any of these 8 acts of wajibat. And we said that if the person leaves his wajibat deliberately, then the person, it's upon him the fact that he repeats his prayer again, due to the fact that he's made a mockery of his salah if he left his wajibat deliberately. And the arkan, we said the fact that they are pillars, that if a person leaves them, then the person has to bring all of his salah again, meaning he has to repeat all of his salah. Or if he leaves his rukn within inside a unit of prayer where he is able to achieve it or get it back or repeat it within that unit of the prayer, then he has to do that. And inshallah today we wish to end this chapter and discuss today the sunan of salah. Just to make a point, the fact that the sunan and the fard and the rukn, it does not allow us the fact that we say that the rukn is something we can't leave, so we have to do it. The wajib is something we can't leave, we have to do it. And sunan is something we could optionally do and we could leave it. This is not the way the people of hadith and the companions of the Prophet ﷺ understood this. Rather, they are acts that which the Prophet ﷺ did, and a person should do them to complete his prayer and perfect his prayer properly. So this mentality that's become widespread, where someone says, because it's sunnah, I don't have to do it, or because it's sunnah, I don't have to, recite it. Rather, a person should encourage himself and try to push others also with him to do the best they can. But the sunan acts of the Prophet ﷺ are such that he did not leave them. And in this case, that the third category that we wish to discuss is the sunan. And if a person was to leave this unintentionally, then know the fact that he does not have to do a sajda to sahu. He does not have to do 2 sajdas out of forgetfulness. Or if a person does leave them deliberately, then know the fact that his prayer is still valid. His prayer is still valid. So the sunan are split into 2 categories. The first is the sayings and the actions. So there are certain sayings within inside the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that if a person carries them out, again, it's from the sunnah. But if he leaves them, but his salah is still valid. So his salah is still accepted. And there are many of the sunan of the aqwal, meaning the sayings that the Prophet ﷺ gave us, such as al-istiftah. Al-istiftah is to say, for example, Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuk wa ta'ala jadduk, or any other ad'iyah that which are narrated from the Prophet ﷺ. For as long as they are authentic and the ahadith are corrected, then know the fact that the person should recite them. Rather, again, this is something that's become something we just, say it's sufficient for me to know one dua, and for as long as I'm saying that, that's enough. Rather, we should try to aim high all the time, meaning Allahumma ba'id bayni wa bayna khatayai. Again, this is another dua that the Prophet ﷺ would recite in the beginning of his istiftah. What ta'awudh, to say a'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim, is also from the sunan of salah. Again, al-basmala, to say bismillah ar-rahman ar-rahim, to say ameen, and to recite something after the surah al-fatiha. And just like that, the recitation of Salatul Jum'ah and the Salat al-Eid and Salat al-Kusuf, all of these and whatever is recited in them and whatever we've learned from the arkan and that which is from the wajibat, whatever we recite from them is considered to be part of the sunnah. Again, just to indicate the fact that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ did not have this mentality that this is sunnah, I could leave it, no problem. They said it's sunnah, Prophet did it, I will do it. This is how it was and this is how it should be. Rather how people have, for example, taken ease and leniency, and this is mu'akkada, I have to do this one, this is not mu'akkada, this is that. Rather, keep it to the one principle, it's sunnah, I will try the best I can do to carry it out, inshallah. So this is the way it should be. Again, the dua such as, we said to say Sami'a Allahu liman hamida, it's from the wajibat. If a person misses that out, he has to do 2 sajdas at the end of it. But if, for example, if somebody was to add to that mil'u samawat or Rabbana wa lakal hamd hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fih, this is again from the sunnah for the Prophet ﷺ. We would recite this dua or this hamd, and then the Prophet ﷺ again to say mil'u samawat wa mil'u al-ard wa mil'u ma sha'a min shay'in ba'd. Again, if you were to recite that today, people will consider the fact that this person is off it, meaning he's reciting or doing something from his own pocket. Rather, it's not the case. Salah is not just what we learn, but Salah is much more than that. What we learn is just to suffice us that we are able to pray, but we have to push ourselves a little more. So there are ad'iyah from the Prophet ﷺ. Again, to say Rabbi aghfirli, we could say Allahumma aghfirli warhamni wahdini wa'afini and so on. And there are ad'iyah again that which are mentioned between the 2 sajdas that a person can recite. For example, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhabi jahannam wa min adhabi al-qabr wa min fitnat al-mahya wal-mamat wa min fitnat al-masih al-dajjal. Again, this is a dua that the Prophet ﷺ would recite. And the second type is from the sunan is the af'al, or the actions that the Prophet ﷺ would do. So the raising of the hands is from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Again, raising your hands when going down into ruku' is from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. To come up when you come up from your ruku', to raise your hands again is from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Again, these sunnahs are looked at as though they're minor. I mean, these are things that perfect your salah. These are things that the Prophet ﷺ did. And the command of the Prophet ﷺ, it says, Sallu. It's a command. Pray. Kama ra'aytumuni usalli, as you have seen me praying. So your prayer should be in accordance to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So if we do come across a sunnah, for example, raising of the hands when going into ruku', coming up from ruku' and raising the hands, again, these acts of sunnahs should be done. They shouldn't be missed out based upon narrations that which are weak and that which are fabricated. Based upon such narrations, people spread and they push away a sunnah act of the Prophet ﷺ. A fabricated narration like what? Or they used to raise their hands only when, because they used to have idols beneath them, and that's why they used to raise their hands. Aslan, the salah became part of Islam whilst people were in Mecca, and we know the fact that there were no hypocrites in Mecca. There were no hypocrites in Mecca for them to do such an act. Again, so stuff like this which has been fabricated and placed into the minds of the people for them to spread and to destroy the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Again, the placing of the right hand over the left hand is from the sunnah. Again, to place your hands upon the chest. Again, to place them on the chest. Again, a person shouldn't go extreme where he puts them on his throat. This is not correct. Rather, on your chest is here, slightly lower. But again, it's not from the sunnah to place it down on your belly button or lower than your belly button. This is incorrect and not from the sunnah. Rather, the hadith that the brothers do bring is a hadith from Sunan Abi Dawood, and this hadith has been marked to be a weak hadith. And there are many authenticated hadith which indicate the fact that the Prophet ﷺ would place his hands upon the chest. So again, one should strive to make sure the fact that his salah is as the Prophet ﷺ has taught us, and then making sure the fact that the ahadith that I'm acting upon have been marked to be authenticated, and rather I'm not acting upon ahadith that which are weak due to the fact that my Imam said it, or my Shaykh said it, or my madhab says it. The madhab may say it, the Imam may say it, or the Shaykh may say it, but again, above all of it is a hadith of and the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, and he is above all. Again, looking down at the place where you will do your sajda whilst you're praying, so to keep your eyes upon the sajda and where you will pray, or just where you have your feet, or just in front of your feet, or between the feet and that which is the sajda, a person can keep his eyesight within that. Again, to place your hands upon your knees when going into ruku', and just like that, placing upon the thighs when you are in your tashahhud position. And just like that, there are many other sunan acts which a person can do and which we tend to do, and we don't just take them lightly. But again, I would encourage the brothers the fact that they make sure of the fact that whatever we've learned of the sunnah acts within our salah, we should do them. Inshallah, within the chapters that are to come is Sifatul Salah, which is the next chapter. So inshallah, within that we will learn in detail, or we will describe the salah in detail and how the salah should be prayed. And inshallah we'll continue that with it prior to Salat al-Maghrib. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.